Now, to expand more on Namibia's foreign policy and Africa's demand for a permanent seat on the UN Security Council, we are now joined in studio by political analyst Andrew Niikondo. Good evening, Mr. Niikondo, and thank you so much for making the time to join us. Mr. Niikondo, the call for a permanent seat on the UN Security Council is something Africa has been advocating for some time now. Do you believe that President Gengob's plea to foreign diplomats is something that will change the gears?
Yes, actually it's going to change because the president, the representative or the diplomats, these are the representative of their respective countries to Namibia, and the president has to use that opportunity in order to address the issue at the international platform through them, in order for them to take this message back home to their countries. That's what Namibia is thinking in the Namibian context, SADC context, and even African context.
Strategies such as boycotting UN sessions were called off last year, as it is seen as though the current new UN Secretary General seems more sympathetic to Africa's plea.
Yeah.
What other strategies can Africa use as a tool of actually reaching their goal and getting full representation?
Africans should just talk in unison as one person. Other African leaders, I think they have to also take example of our president to talk in order to make their voices strong. Because if you are just talking as individual, people will never hear and will never recognize your voice as being strong. It's better for us to talk in unison as one, in order for these people to hear and to understand our voice. That's actually the good strategy that we need to do. Of course, boycotting is also one strategy, but talking is also very much important.
So it's of your belief that other African nations should actually speak out a bit more?
Exactly. Also to use the same platform by informing the diplomats in their own countries of what the position of the African nation is.
The president strongly spoke out against inequality, as it's being seen as a ticking time bomb to sort of displacing peace, if we could call it that.
Yeah.
He reminded other diplomats that we will require their assistance in sort of combating structural inequality. What was your take on that?
Yeah, it is very important for them to help us, and to become as what we call equal partners in this endeavor, to fight inequality, not just in Namibia, even further afield. Because the president there has also used another analogy for the Namibian house, the SADC house, the African house, and this can even go beyond to the United Nations house.
In what ways can the foreign diplomats actually assist us in combating this?
Yeah, they can help us, they can connect us to the experts in their own countries as how this issue should be addressed. That's very important.
Which is very key.
Yeah, it's just not just criticism and so on. They have also to be our partners as how we can address this issue. Otherwise, we can't go anywhere if we just go for criticizing here and there. But if they come up with a strategy to help us, it's very important.
Makes certainly a lot of sense, and will go a long way in that as well. Finally, Namibia's policy on being a friend to all and an enemy to none.
Yeah.
How has this served the country in achieving its desired goal of being a respected international partner?
That one actually is our tradition before independence. We had this the same idea of non-aligned movement. We did not have enemies, but our enemy by that time actually was the colonial regime that we have been fighting. But internationally, we did not really have such enemies, as I may say, because we were non-allied movement.
Correct.
It's just the same policy that we transferred to Namibia after independence. And we also have to keep it after independence up to now. So that's very important for us to keep that trade, not to create enemies or to have enemies, unless if we are provoked. That's another situation. If probably somebody provokes us, then that's another scenario.
How about in situations where you've got rogue nations, such as, for example, North Korea and so forth? Those are also seen as friends of Namibia, considering their stance in the global economy.
Exactly, because North Korea, for example, was one of the nations which helped us during the liberation struggle. So it is also very much difficult for us simply to say, no, you simply helped us that time, that now you are not our enemy. Because we are sovereign state, we can always choose our own friends, our own partners No one is coming to dictate that, okay, you can be a friend of A or B, but we can have friends, internationally. That's why we can't say that South Korea, for example, is North Korea, is our enemy. It's not our enemy. It's not necessary.
Mr. Niikondo, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for you this evening. Thank you so much for making the time once again to join us.
Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it. That was political analyst Andrew Niikondo expanding on Namibia's foreign relations and Africa's quest for representation on the UN Security Council.